Hi all, welcome to SK Data Diaries. Myself Kumar, I'm working with the MNC as a data engineer. In our previous video, we talked about Spark architecture. In today's video, we will cover clusters and how Spark splits our data. Let's get into video. Let's start with what is cluster. Cluster is nothing but the set of virtual machines work together to process the data. That is what we have been discussing all these days. The data which we provides to a Spark get splitted into multiple partition and get processed by virtual machine known as nodes. This is the Spark architecture diagram which we saw earlier. So here our driver program, cluster manager, worker nodes all together work to process the data. This entire setup known as the cluster. Here you can see I added something inside the executor. Let's get back to our analogy. This is our master chef, this is our kitchen 1 and this is our kitchen 2. In our earlier videos, we discussed only about the associate chef, which is our executor. But one associate chef can handle multiple stoves. That is what I added now. In Spark terms, executor can have multiple cores. Let's see how many tasks we can do parallelly. We are having 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 worker nodes. Each worker nodes having 2 executors. Each executor holding 2 cores, which brings us to the calculation of 4 into 2 into 2, which give us the number of parallel tasks can be executed. So with this setup, we can execute 16 tasks parallelly. That gives us the capability of our cluster. But what about the file size and number of partition it gets splitted into? Let's talk about that now. There is three main factor which influence the number of partition create while Spark reads the file, which is the file size itself and the file format and then Spark configuration. Let's talk about this file format. Some of the file formats are non-splittable. For example, CSV file which get compressed by using gzip compression logic, and some of XML file and JSON file comes under this category. Those file will get corrupted if you try to partition them. It will make no sense if we use a big data technology to process those files. In most of the cases, we won't get this kind of non-splittable files. Even if you try to process those files, entire file get processed as a single partition only. Let's talk about this maximum partition bytes. By default, it's 128 MB. This is the basic calculation Spark will do behind the scene. It will take our file size and compare with maximum partition bytes. If our file size is bigger than the maximum partition bytes, then it will get splitted. Let me show this with the example. I am making entry to the Spark engine by giving Spark keyword. dputils.fs.ls used to list the file which are there in our Databricks file system. In Databricks file system, everything stored under the path of /file store. You keep in mind that in real-time scenario, we use our ADLS Gen 2 or other cloud storage for storing the data. Just for the demo purpose, I am using Databricks file system. Under my file store, I am having multiple files. Let me open the folder called raw data. Under raw data, I'm having multiple file. I'm trying to process this BigMart sales CSV. Forget about the code. We will discuss about the code in our upcoming videos. Now I assign this BigMart sales file to a data frame. By using this get num partition, I will come to know how many partition it create under the hood. It created just one partition. Let me show the default partition size. This is the default maximum partition in bytes. Let's convert this bytes into megabytes. It is exactly 128 MB. That is what I told you. By default, the partition size is 128 MB. Let me show the size of the file. Here you can see the size of the file. Let us convert this bytes into megabytes. This is less than 1 megabyte. Let's give all this input to our formula. This is our file size 1 MB and this is a default partition size. It will take minimum of this two. This will give us the conclusion of the partition size created. We will end up with one partition here. Let me do the same with the file which is bigger than 128 MB. Under file store, I am having the file called accepted 2002 to 2018. You see the file size which is bigger than 128 MB. Let's process this data. Now I assign the file to the data frame called df. Let us see how many partition created. You can see 13 partition created here. How we got this number 13? We know the fact that the default partition size is 128 MB. So for every 128 MB, it will get one partition. The file size which we are having is 1597 MB. So we will divide that by 128. We will get the number of partition. This is how we can calculate the number of partition get created. In today's video, we cover what is cluster, what is partition, what is default size of partition, how many partition get created and the calculation behind it. With that note, I'm ending today's video. I hope I added some value. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Keep learning. Happy learning. Thank you.